cream pasta sauce, and yes, the vodka cooks out, so don't worry about that, with sausage in it. And because my home includes people who can't eat gluten or dairy, I'm gonna make this both gluten and dairy free. So here we go. I'm starting off by crushing some garlic. I'm gonna chop it up. I'm gonna get a pan hot over here on the stove, and I will get the garlic rolling in there, and then I will add my sausage. Fun fact, something you don't know, maybe, is early on when Brandon and I were first married, he used to rate my cooking. Yes, you heard that right. He would say, "You're a rookie cooker," or "You have 1 star or 2 stars," and this is because he was raised by his mother, well, and father, but both his parents are very good cooks, and I was not a cook, and so I had to earn my way up from rookie cooker to beginning cooker to so-so cooker. I don't know, he had like 8 levels for me. So it was really sad. You should feel bad for me, but I have grown to love cooking. I love to cook healthy food that has lots of flavor. So here we go. I'm putting in about 3 cloves of garlic into a pan. It's like not quite medium-high heat. And now I'm gonna add my sausage. I actually bought a pound of Italian sausage. This is mild, but this is, you know, sausage links that I took the casings off of, or you could just buy ground sausage. I'm gonna add that to my garlic. You don't want your pan too hot. If your pan is too hot, your garlic will brown and burn before you actually get any food cooking in there. And so I'm gonna let this brown for a little bit. All right, I've got my sausage done in the pan here. I'm going to get it into a bowl, get it off of the heat, and then I'm going to return the pan to the stove over medium heat to rewarm. We've got some good bits left here in the pan that will cook into the sauce. I'm going to take a shallot. A shallot is a really mild onion. I've already got one peeled here that I'm going to cut into a small little dice. So 1 large shallot for this recipe. And onions are something that you want to cook over a medium heat so that you don't cook them too quickly. So I've got my pan warming, and I will add my shallots once I get a nice small dice on it. So I love to cook, as I mentioned already, and it is something that I do for fun. It's something that I love to experiment with. I love to try new recipes. In fact, on any given week, I will try 2 to 3 new recipes per week, which I know if you're out there thinking that cooking is not something you enjoy, you're thinking, how on earth do you do that? But really it comes down to that I love to eat. And so I like to cook food that I want to eat. So I experiment with lots of things. If this is a recipe you want to make, so far we've got 1 pound of sausage that we cooked off with a couple of cloves of garlic diced up. Now I've got shallots going in a pan with a tablespoon or 2 of extra virgin olive oil. These are going to cook over a medium heat for about 2 minutes. I also already made my pasta, and the reason that I did that is because I wanted to reserve some of the pasta water. It's this really starchy water that I'm going to add to my sauce in a little bit here that will add flavor. You could add a 1/2 cup of starchy water. You could add 1 whole cup. I'm going to do a 1/2 cup of starch water and a 1/2 cup of chicken stock just to give the sauce a little more flavor. But I'm going to do that after my onions soften, which again takes a minute or 2. So sometimes you see videos from my precious husband, Brandon Beals, and he says things that are incriminating to me. So now I will incriminate him because he probably will never watch a cooking show video. A couple months ago, we were on a trip with Convoy of Hope, and Brandon makes a comment to me about how I cook about 10 dinners total, and I just keep rotating through them. And I'm very unoffendable, but I was very offended because I really like to cook and I don't repeat recipes very often. I have a few favorites that I might do once a month, but it's not very often that I repeat. And so if you know Lydia, who works at our church in our special needs department, she runs our special needs. Lydia moved in with us the last week of August, and I thought, oh, it'll be fun to see if I even repeat recipes while she's here. I did not repeat a recipe until February 1st, end of August.
That's true.
True, yep, see, she's in the background, she agrees with me. So, I like to cook. Okay, so I've got my shallots softened. I'm gonna add 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes, so a large can of crushed tomatoes. I'm going to add about half a cup of vodka. I buy the cheapest stuff there is because all I want is the flavor in the sauce. And again, the vodka will cook out of the sauce. It just adds a little bit of depth of flavor. I'm going to add a pinch of my secret ingredient for this recipe, which is crushed red pepper flakes. A pinch, I don't know, quarter to half a teaspoon. I'm gonna add some salt. You can tell I don't really measure things very well, so I'm gonna add half to 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And now I'm gonna add that starchy water. And then I will finish it off with some chicken stock. And this is going to come to a rapid simmer, so I'm gonna turn it up. Once it comes to a rapid simmer, I'm gonna lower the heat and I'm gonna let it cook off for about 15 minutes to let the alcohol cook out. After it does that, I'll re-add the sausage back to the pan. So we're almost there, and stay tuned. I'm gonna let it cook and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so you are rejoining us after the sauce has been on the stove for about 14 minutes on a low simmer. So 12 to 15 minutes right in there. And I just re-added the sausage back to the pan. So all we have left are 2 ingredients now. If you are okay with dairy, you would put in about a half a cup of heavy cream. But if you can't do dairy, I'm gonna show you a little fun thing. So you've probably seen cans of coconut milk or used them before. So this is a good dairy alternative. In a regular can of coconut milk, the top of it is this condensed solid coconut cream, and then the bottom is this coconut water. So you can just buy a can like this and you just take the coconut cream right off the top because you don't need that much. I usually add a little bit of the coconut water to the solid just so it loosens up just a little bit. Or you can buy this product, which is actually coconut cream. I use this to make homemade ice cream. I use it anytime I need a dairy substitute, especially if it calls for heavy whipping cream. So this stuff works great. So I took a little bit of it here. I added a little bit of the coconut water to it so that we get about a half a cup of this coconut cream that we are gonna then add to our sauce. So this is, again, a vodka, sausage, tomato, and cream sauce. To finish it off, we're gonna add a little bit of salt, and then we're gonna add our basil. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off the stove for you, and then we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, the sauce has come off the stove. It is now on top of the pasta, but before I show it to you, we have to add one more thing, and that is fresh basil. I don't know if you've ever been shown a simple way to cut basil, but I'll show you here. If you take each of the leaves and you stack them on top of each other, and then you roll them up. When you cut them, which you probably can't see here, but if you just cut some nice long slices across the rolled up basil, you'll end up with, because basil's really easily bruised, you'll end up with these nice strips of basil. So we're gonna put that across the top of our sauce. And now it looks like this. It makes much more than this. This is just presentation. And we're gonna give it a little taste. So again, 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes. It's got a pound of sausage in it that was cooked in some olive oil with some garlic. has got one large shallot chopped up in it. It's got just a little bit of crushed red pepper. We added about a half a cup of vodka to it, which of course cooked out. And now we finished it off with some cream, or coconut cream, and some basil, and some salt. So we use coconut cream. You can definitely taste the coconut cream in this. The sausage adds really good flavor to it. The basil is very fresh, and it's got a little bit of kick from the red pepper and the vodka. Just a few ingredients. You can make this in 30 minutes or less, so give it a try. And if you can't remember the recipe, just email me, I'll send it to you. All right, have a good night.